bad guy. Yeah, chico. Yeah, chico. You're talking to the bad guy. Toothpicking your eye. I'm that guy. Hey, yo. Look, something happened to these, something happened to you, okay?
What's going on, everybody? It's Coach Shabazz here on SMACM World. I got a very special guest, a good friend of mine, Terrell Sutton, from Jackson, Mississippi, former NFL player, former XFL player. The guy did it all professionally. He also got an opportunity to do JUCO, and he also did Division II football. Great guy, man. Good friend of mine, man. How you doing, man?
I'm well, man. I'm glad to be here, man.
Man, me too. I'm glad you took the time out to come spend with us. So Street Geeks and SMACM World, man. So we're going to get right to it, man. So tell us how it was growing up in Jackson when, as a you see I got the Jackson State on.
I see that, man.
So tell us how it was growing up in Jackson in your teenage years from high school.
Well, my dad was military, so I went back and forth between Jackson and San Diego, California, but majority of my time spent in Jackson. But Jackson, when I was growing up, was vibrant. It was a city that I loved, man, you know. And right around the time I was coming up, Jackson State, Alcorn, it was just
a big deal.
Yeah, a big deal, man. The city was so alive, Fair Street and everything, not like it is today. I hate where it's at today, but the city was lovely, man. You can walk where you wanted to go to. I would walk up to Jackson State all the time, man, and play basketball in the old gym and hang out on campus, and that was it, man. But Jackson's my home. Man,
that's what's up, man. You know, I love Jackson as well. My mom went to Jackson State, so we spent a lot of time up there. Man, it was always stuff to do. I would love the violence to dumb down a little bit, you know.
Of course.
But violence is everywhere. But it's kind of crazy right now. But I think it'll get well. So tell me, man, about your high school career, man. What high school did you end up going to?
Man, so high school, my dad being military, I split high schools. I went to a high school in Arlington, Texas, Sam Houston. Then I went to Jim Hill. I went to Jim Hill for 2 years. I went to Jim Hill my sophomore and junior year. I went to Sam Houston my senior year. So a lot of my football happened at Jim Hill. I was really an okay player right around that time. We had a lot of good players in Jackson coming through there. So I spent time there and did really well. But then when I went to Texas, I kind of blossomed my senior year and got recruited by a lot of people. And Texas football is huge.
Very.
So when it came out, I was up there and I got caught up in the wash at a school where we had 3 big players. A guy named Kelly Black, Damon Dunn, and Troy Henderson. Okay. And I got caught up with them and I got recruited heavily. And things changed for me a little bit. And I signed with TCU.
Okay.
But I ended up not making my ACT score, and some other things happened as far as ACT, and they tried to get me eligible, and I didn't. So I ended up going to Blinn Junior College.
Oh man,
the best move.
Yeah. Okay. So you got heavily recruited. Could you briefly just talk about some of the schools that you were interested in high school, just to show that you did work hard in high school? What were some of the? You give me 3 of them that you remember. Did you take any visits too?
Oh, I took a lot of visits.
Okay, yeah.
So you got TCU. Okay. You had TCU. You had Oklahoma State at the time.
Okay.
And then you had Sam Houston State.
Yeah. They just won national championship.
Just did. Yeah. So I got recruited by them. I was leaning more towards TCU. The guy came and just sold me on a lot of stuff. Said, out of high school, he said, we're probably going to redshirt. They had a decent secondary. Secondary coach came and talked to me, said, we can do this, and that with you. And I kind of fell for it. Okay. I believed him, So I fell for it. But the process of that, you got to have, I had my grades at the time, and I was taking the ACT. As long as I was trying to take it, everybody was real cool with me being, recruit me. I took visits up there, took visits to Oklahoma State, enjoyed it, but it just seemed so big for me. Okay. And it was a lot of DBs. There, you kind of get intimidated, and I was.
Most definitely.
I was.
18 years old.
Yeah, and all them dudes sitting up there talking about, I play in the secondary. I'm looking at 20-some odd guys in the secondary. Right. I said, this ain't gonna be a good fit. Go down to Sam Houston, a little smaller school. Mm-hmm. They told me the same. They said, here, you probably gonna get a shot to play. Redshirt. I'll give you that option. If you don't, we're gonna redshirt you. And I was like, okay, go to TCU. He said that possibly, most likely on redshirt. I didn't see, they may have hit him. Right. But there was a lot of DBs, but I felt like I could beat some of these guys.
Right.
And I watched them on TV, and so, being the process of being recruited, you still got to be humble. But I was still humble. But some of the schools just seemed overwhelming to me. So I picked a smaller school at the time.
Man, that's good though. So, all right, you end up not getting, academically eligible because of ACT.
Right.
Could you give kids that's watching now and parents to understand how important that is if you want to play, if you don't want to do JUCO, nothing wrong with JUCO because both of us went that route.
Right.
Tell them how important it is to get those grades in order in the ACT.
Man, it's huge. ACT prep for it. Get that stuff out the way. Don't wait till your senior year to do it. Start your sophomore, junior, start your 9th grade year.
Yes.
Start prepping for it, get yourself ready, because once you get that out the way, get your grades in. You don't have, that's nothing to worry about no more. You're prepared, you're ready to get to school, and it's done. You don't have that pressure on you. I see a lot of guys now, and it breaks my heart seeing them try and take it their junior year, or actually their senior year. So now you got to find where they're taking it. You got to hurry up and get it done, That's more pressure on you. Yeah, it's a lot of pressure to get eligible. Teams kind of nowadays are fading away from guys doing that. Unless you're just a 5-star stud, they're going to stick with you. But if you're a low-end guy like myself at the time, they're going to wean away from you.
I was a low-end guy, and I qualified super late.
Yeah.
And, I qualified late. A lot of teams just straight up told me, we don't know if you're going to qualify. Right. Backed off, and it hurt me in recruiting. So that's a great gem you dropped for them.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to Blinn College. How did they find you? How did it come about?
So it went like this. Blinn came to the school and was recruiting everybody. It was like, if things happen, we're here for you. So TCU was like, you're not eligible, so what do you plan on doing? I said, I don't know at the time. So I was in the process of my mom and dad moving back to Mississippi. So when I came back, I kind of got in the middle of like no one's really talking to me. So I had a card. I called down there, called the Blinn. I talked to a guy named Coach Conway. He said, we kind of remember you. You know that we kind of remember, we're going to get back to you type message. So I waited a couple days. It was longer than a couple days. I waited. And by this time, my dad had this rule. He said, if you're not playing something or going to school, you got to get out of his house. So I'm 18. I'm feeling the pressure now. I'm feeling the pressure. So a couple weeks in, they called. They said, we remember you. We're going to offer you. I said, I accept. When the conversation was over, I said, I accept. And so they faxed everything over. I signed it, sent it back. And I'm looking at my dad like, who? I'm like, man. So I get the Blinn, I signed with them, and camp's getting ready to start. And so I'm in Jackson, and back then the old Greyhound station used to be by the fairgrounds. And I remember my dad then brought me down and told me, this is it. I loaded up, I had a big old remember the treasure chest with the patch on front? Had a treasure chest, a duffel bag, and I was on the Greyhound. Greyhound, and they sold me. I didn't know where Blinn was, so they said, we're right outside of Houston. So I'm thinking, okay, so we get to Houston, we stop for our layover, and I was like, okay. Right outside of Houston. So I asked the person, I said, where Blinn at? This dude hump his shoulders. I was like, okay. So get on the bus, start going down 205. Going. I said, man, this ain't right by Houston. So we pull into this little town. I see this big old sign said Bluebell Ice Cream. That's what they're famous for. Blue. So we pull in, we about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours away from Houston. I said, oh my goodness. Ain't nothing but cow pastures. They had a Walmart. It was a small Walmart. And I see the campus. I said, what'd I get myself into?
Well, it ended up working out for you.
It did. Great 2 years. We won a national championship that second year. That first year we was in contention, but then we lost to the eventual national champs. And so, but it was a great 2 years. It built my foundation. Gotcha. And I tell a lot of guys like yourself, like we were both in JUCO, it helped me get ready for that next level. It was a lot of things I wasn't ready for. I wasn't ready for how the classes was going to go, how to get to classes. I wasn't ready to be a student athlete. They prepared me to be a student athlete. My head coach now, he's over at Tulane. I go visit him all the time now. We talk about how he prepared me to be a student athlete, more student than an athlete, and then it helped me on through.
JUCO is probably one of the greatest things that happened to me for sure, man.
Me too.
Still have a relationship with the coaches, and most definitely the players, man. We came short on as far as winning the national championship. Lost in the state championship to get to
I think our two divisions, from what I'm hearing, are the two toughest divisions. You got your division and then the Texas division, and it's tough, man, to come out of those two divisions and win. And the year we won it, I ended up being a JUCO All-American. It was just a tough conference, man. It's just tough, man. Both our conferences.
Yeah, it is. And Cam, if anybody don't know what Blinn College, Cam Newton went to Blinn College and won a national championship. So Blinn College is one of those elite JUCOs in Texas and all over the country. So Blinn College is definitely great. So 2 years go by. What did you end up signing?
So 2 years went by. I started getting recruited by some of everybody. JUCO All-American. You had Texas A&M. You had Texas Tech. Baylor came because we were close to them schools, so they came. And they were giving me the whole thing, and by this time I know how to do it. And Coach Frisch was really hands-on with us. He said, "You got 2 years left. Do you want to go sit around somewhere? Or do you want to play?" So I looked at these schools, and I was sitting, and I took another visit to TCU, and they were trying to tell me you're gonna come in and start. Just so happened, when I got up there, one of the dudes told, he said, "You're not gonna start here. He's our secondary set." So I get back down there, I'm shaking my head, and Coach Frisch said, "There's a guy up at Texas A&M Commerce." They were called East Texas State, but they changed their name to Texas A&M Commerce. He said, "The guy who really wants Division II." He said, "I know it's a smaller school. Their secondary is falling apart. They need a guy to come in and be a safety tweener guy." And I was like, "Well, I'm really not a safety." He said, "You're big enough to play it. Learn it." And that was the best advice he gave me. Best advice. So I sat around and waited, and then eventually I signed with them, went up to Texas A&M Commerce, and great decision.
Yeah.
Great decision. So I did that.
Right, that's good. It's good stuff, man. Where was your best position? Was it corner or safety? Which one did you, or was you one of those, like, you know,
Man,
he played nickel, he played safety?
Yeah, it was a game time decision.
Okay.
It was a game time decision for
Personnel.
the staff. They'll sit and realize, okay, do we have a big receiver out there? Do we got a tight end we need to nullify? Do we have this and that? And so it was game time. A lot of times I was out at the corner, and then if things got shady with a tight end or something, they'll move me in. Or if someone went down, they'll rotate me back. Like a lot of times we went nickel or dime, I'll rotate back over the top to play the field. So it just all depends, and it helped me out a lot, man, because in the future, I didn't know this, I was gonna be put in that same position.
Yeah.
And it helped me out as far as my pro career. So I was always in there learning this and learning that, moving around. It helped me out so much because now I gotta learn the corner, learn the safety, learn formations, what shifts I'm gonna have and stuff like that. So it helped me out a lot.
You know, you definitely was a student of the game. We're gonna go brief, like just me and your experience. Like when we played a lot of flag football together.
Lots.
A lot of flag football, a lot of tournament ball. Me and you would always talk about it on the phone.
Yeah.
Or a lot of communication on the field. Man, it got to the point, me and our chemistry, I could look at you and we could just, no, Boz, go there, go, Boz, underneath. And then I used to love that because it would take me back to playing like real ball.
Yeah.
You know, that was the closest I could get to real ball. It was like, we're going to banjo, we're going to bet. Just,
that's it,
it's like little terminology like, he played ball before.
Yeah.
He understand the game. I used to love playing with you.
And that's the run we went on in flag. Just going back to flag football, we went on a great run.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Boy, just the fact we had athletes you could talk to, you know where to be at. But that the student of the game had to do that.
Oh yeah, man. I love people that understand the game. But all right, let's get back to your story, your journey, man. Just had a little brief moment with you.
That's
man.
fine.
Had a lot of experience with you. But all right, so 2 years go up at Texas A&M Commerce. All right, where's your mindset? Are you still thinking pro, or you just want to graduate, or I'm done? So
So my senior year rolls around. Well, my junior year rolls around. We have a pro day for a guy named Kevin Mathis, phenomenal athlete. Guy I learned so much from a corner that ended up playing in the league over 10 years. Had a great career. I ended up listening to him, so his pro day come. You know, that they're around looking at junior, so he looked at me, it's like, you got great size, this and that. So I was the tweener. They said, you're gonna run as a DB, we're gonna see what you have. So I did a lot of stuff. So my senior roll around, have a sketchy senior start, but finished so strong in our conference, and we didn't make the playoffs, but I finished so strong, so I started getting lots of pro day comes. I ended up running up, I ran at Texas A&M Commerce, only had a couple people there. So the guy who was my agent at the time, he said, look, this is what we're gonna do. You're gonna leave school for a second. You're gonna come run at Jackson State's pro day.
Okay.
So I ended up.
It's about 98.
Yeah, 98.
So you was Sylvester Morris and
Sylvester Morris,
okay.
Quincy Coleman,
both.
They
had
had a lot of guys.
Jackson State had a lot of NFL talent.
Corey Bradford,
yeah,
who's a good friend of mine, all them. So
I
come home for a minute. I'm getting my schoolwork, trying to get that done, training. So I go up to Jackson State to run. Coach Shannon was their coach at the time.
Coach at Biloxi High back.
Yeah, back in the day, Coach Shannon. I go up there, I said, I'm supposed to run for y'all pro day. We don't know you. Close the door. So I called my agent. I said, man, what's going on? He said, I'll be there in a minute. He comes, talks to him. And so I end up running that pro day. My first time, you got Corey Bradford, you got Sylvester Morris, Quincy Coleman, Bo Lewis. They're running 4.4.
Okay.
I get a 4.5, 4.50. I'm like, ooh. And these real good 4.4, like 4.42.
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh. They push me.
Yeah.
So my second run, I'm like, oh man, I gotta get to these boys. They laugh and whatnot, looking at me like, where this dude come from?
Right.
You know. So I suck it up. I end up getting a 4.43, my fastest time ever. So I get that. I'm like, okay, I'm there. So we go inside the old gym, do the shuttle stuff, and then the guy, you know, you're not supposed to do this. We did some releases with Corey Bradford, some other guys. I'm like, you doing this? I didn't expect that. So we doing that. Turned out very well for me. A lot of teams were there. A lot came and mentioned all the teams there at the time. They had a whole bunch of guys getting ready for the league. So I feel like that run in that pro day at Jackson State really helped me a lot.
Gotcha. Because Sylvester Morris went with the Kansas City Chiefs in
Yeah,
the first round.
and Kid got a rookie record up there.
Yeah, he balled out.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 98. All right, pro day happened. So let's go to draft night. Are you expecting to get drafted, or your agent just keeping it real with you? Like
he kept it real with me.
He said,
first day, you're not gonna go to first day.
Okay.
Most likely the second. You're going late rounds. You're going anywhere from 5th to 7th.
Okay.
I said I'm cool with that. Right. So the second day rolled around. I didn't really much watch the TV. So the late rounds come. I'm watching. I'm sitting there like everybody else. You know, my agent's on the phone with me telling me this and that. So round 7 comes. I'm sitting there. He said, somebody gonna make a move. I said, who? He said, I don't know, but somebody gonna make a move on you. At this time, the Dolphins and Saints were talking to him back and forth. So it ends. You know, I'm hurt. I'm discouraged a little bit. I said, maybe they meant to be. I'm thinking of what I'm gonna do and this and that. And I'm gonna stop playing ball. I'm gonna do this and that. So it's over with. Right. And the phone just started blowing up. I had the Saints, Dolphins, Chiefs, a couple teams like free agent, and some reason my agent's like, look, I think it'd be a great opportunity for you to go to the Cowboys. He said you might not, he told me, he said you might not make the roster, but to be around some true veterans of the game, you might pick up something. He said you go to these other places, you might just be a camp body. Camp bodies, for a lot of people don't know, just guys they put in camp. You just out there. They don't have no interest in you, just out there so their veteran won't get hurt. So he said, I think you'll be a good fit to learn something. So I said, okay. So I signed. They gave me a little change. I was so happy with that, man.
The most money you ever had.
Man, the most. I didn't know what to do with it. But then, for all y'all out there, listen to me now.
Come on, talk to him.
You have fees. You have fees. Asian fees, training fees. You gonna pay money on that money you get. Don't let them fool you.
Give them the information, man.
So I get that money. He said, whoa. He said, let me get that. So I ended up getting probably not even half of that back. So and I got to take care of Mom Dukes, and Dad did something for them, and get ready to go off to camp.
Right. Okay, cool. So, all right. So this 98, 99.
Right, 98, 99.
Okay. I'm just trying to give them an idea of, you know, what the era you played in, which was pretty good era. So, who's the best DB at the time then? That you're just.
Oh, in the pros?
The Cowboys. No, Cowboys.
The Cowboys. Man, I walk, man.
Yeah.
So you get there, Prime ain't there. So you go through minicamp, you see his locker, and if he is there, he's in there while you out there practicing, and he's gone. So, you know, you sit around, and this is my idol coming up. Somebody, I'm like Deion Sanders. So, you know, we don't see him, so we go off to Wichita Falls for camp. They're not there the first week. First week just rookies, and we grinding. You seeing people get cut. Seeing that you just trying to hold on.
Right.
Hold on, show something. So the vets come in that next week. We sitting in there, they showing up. They got all the rookies and freshs. We're way up on the 3rd floor. The vets down. So they get to the elevator and whatnot. So that first practice with everybody, that first meeting with everybody, they sat way off in the back. I see them. I said, oh, there go Deion. So I go sit down. He don't say nothing to nobody. He walk around and whatnot. So that morning practice, we getting dressed, he over there. Probably got like 4 lockers to himself.
Come on.
4 lockers to himself. He sitting there, he said, where are them young DBs at? It's me, this guy named Zebby Lethbridge, and there's another little safety and another guy. It was only 4 of us, because they had the secondary pretty much already made. And so we sitting there, he said, this is what I need before every practice. I need a Lipton tea sitting in my locker. I'm like, who gonna do this? Right? I was the one doing it. You know, they got tradition taking pads and whatnot, so he have his teas and whatnot. Yeah. And what a lot of people don't know, what a lot of people starting to see where Prime at with Jackson State. I know that Prime. Where Prime was like, this, y'all the young guys. He always was teaching us something. Always was teaching us knowledge of the game. There was never a time where he wasn't trying to teach you. He'd sit there and watching one-on-ones. Oh, you took a false step. You open it too wide. Get your hands up. Why your hands down? He was, and then if you didn't pay attention to it, kept on doing it, he's not gonna talk to you. I stayed in his ear. What I need to do right here, Prime. How I need to open up. And he was that guy. And he gave so much knowledge, and people starting to see that he is that guy. What he's giving to Jackson State, and I know that guy. Yeah. And the guy at the time that before me, Kevin Mathis, he was with the Cowboys. So that's another guy I knew. So I had 2 people. I had Kevin, I had Deion telling me this is what you had to do. And for all you guys out there going to camp now, if you're going to camp as a free agent, go see your special team coach. Learn how to be a gunner, punt return, kick return. That's where you're gonna make your money for the first year. So that's what I did. I did that, learned how to be a gunner, up back, all kind of stuff like that.
So did you make it the team for the Cowboys that year?
No, I didn't make team.
So what happened after the Cowboys?
So it came around to where they making their last cut, and I got to come up there and I talked to all kinds of people. They said, our team's pretty much made, but the knowledge you have, the experience you have, is going to help you go into the next level, whatever you're gonna do. So I'm done with the Cowboys at the time. It's right around 99 now, so I'm done with them. I'm hearing a buzz about this league, the XFL. Then I hear a buzz about this other league. It's an unknown league called the RFL. RFL is this really small league. You can Google it. Whatnot. It was a spring league that's supposed to be real big, but it ended up not being big. It was a one-year thing. So the RFL popped off before the XFL. So and I'm from Jackson, so I had a team in Jackson, Houston, Mobile, New Orleans, and Toledo, Ohio. Out of all sorts, Toledo, Ohio. Travel was a mess.
Yeah.
Ended up doing that. So I ended up playing in that for that spring. Played in that, did really well. And so the buzz was coming. And so after that, the 2000s come. So the 2000s coming there. So I'm training. I get a call about the XFL. And I was like, okay, I don't know what I'm gonna do. But then right around that same time, I get signed by the Packers. The Packers come out of nowhere. We want to bring you to camp. We feel like you can help our secondary. I said, cool. So I go there and run for them. First I had to run for them. Did some real drill Tuesday tryout day that they called in the league, Tuesday tryout day. So I try out. They call me agent back, we're gonna sign him. So I ended up signing with the Packers. Did that whole training camp, ended up making their roster. The biggest thing around. I was like, oh my goodness, I was so happy. Yeah. So I get up there. My first week, I'm on practice squad. So I'm like, I'm cool with that. The practice squad. Then I get active for a game up in Denver. And I'm out there not doing nothing. I'm blowing coverages. I was overwhelmed, but then I finally got my feet up under me. Yeah. Did okay. Then I get active for another. I think it's against the Jets. I do decent. Still struggling a little bit to get my feet up under me. By that third week, my position coach kept on telling me, "You gonna be home. We're about to send you home." Yeah. And I'm like, because you don't have them chances as a free agent to keep on making mistakes. And I had a lot of guys on my heel in that secondary. And so it was a guy named Gary Berry from Ohio State. They drafted him third round. He was struggling, but he's a third rounder. I'm a free agent, and it just happened. And I kept business. I kept on struggling, and they said they're gonna go with him. And so right around week 4, I'm on the phone with a homeboy. Called back to Jackson. I said, man, talking to him. He said, man, you doing all right? I said, no, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Keep it real, though.
Yeah,
that's what you got to do.
And he told me, he said, we're on the phone at my position coach. I said, I need to holler at you. And right around this time, it's Tuesday, and they tell you if you're going to be active, inactive, you're going to be scout team, help them get ready for the game. I need to talk to you. So I'm like, man, I got to go, but I think he's going to cut me. He's like, no, you good. I hung up the phone, walked around there. He said, he gave me that where's your playbook?
Oh, that hurt.
Yeah, it hurt, and I was like, it was. And I try to be honest to all these young cats out here. I don't try to sugarcoat. The league did me wrong. The league didn't do me wrong. I did myself wrong. I was making too many mistakes. I wasn't consistent. NFL is about consistency, and I didn't have that. So they changed that, and then they released me, and there's like one thing I do. They try to get me like, do you want to stay for the game? No, send me home. Send me home with my ticket out. So I get back home. I'm training, and now the buzz about the XFL is picking track. Okay. Vince McMahon putting money into it. 2000, we gonna roll, and by that spring they had a draft. I ended up getting drafted second round in the XFL. Ended up signed with the San Francisco Demons, and we did our training camp in Las Vegas. So I ended up going out there in 01. That whole early part of the spring, I was in Vegas training, made their roster. Of course, they drafted me second round. They cut the little checks and whatnot. Vince was paying. Yeah. Vince was paying. So ended up in San Francisco in 01. Had a great season with them, ended up returning the punt for a touchdown, was like 5th in the league with interceptions, and I thought it was gonna be my league. I'm getting calls from the NFL guys trying to get me ready to run. I ran for a couple people, and I'm sitting there like, this is gonna be it. I'm not worried about the NFL, because I'm making good money. XFL paid good money. Yeah. Then they folded. Just that fast.
So after XFL, now, did you get another opportunity to play in the NFL?
Man, no, I didn't. I ran for a whole bunch of guys. I ran for a whole bunch of people. Me, I was a tweener. Same thing, XFL, I was a tweener. I would rotate in. I'd be a corner, rotate me back at safety, nickel, dime, certain things. So it was a tough fit for me with a lot of people, but I told them I could play both. A lot of people were like, So right around time, I think this 01, 02, I go to Canada. My first team was Winnipeg Blue Bombers. I was up there with them. Had a decent season. Had to get acclimated to the game up there. The 1 yard off. Wider. But I was a decent tackler, so I mostly played the wide side of the field because I tackled pretty decent and played the safety. So I'm like the H-back corner, playing the wide side. And then that one year was up, and I wasn't feeling the team. We were terrible. We were terrible. Then it was cold. So
Had to get up out of there.
yeah, Hamilton ended up calling me that next year. It's like, we want to sign you to a 1-year deal, see how things work out. Go there, another bad team. I was okay with it, and then I ended up finishing out, and it's like, nah. By this time, arena's just blowing up. You got Kurt Warner, some other guys getting shots. And my agent was like, what you think about it? I said, let's try it. So I come back down to the States and try arena football.
Yeah. Yeah, you did. I do remember that. And I think this is around the time a little bit. I think so. You did AFL, arena football. They folded it.
Nah, the big name folded, but it's branched off. Okay, yeah, they got a couple different leagues.
AFL, man, you went to it at the peak.
Right.
You had some great teams. I watched a lot of arena football.
Yeah, I was.
You was on the video game.
Yeah, I was.
You was on the video game.
Got myself on the video game.
On the video game.
They got me at a 92 overall, and I appreciate that. I got that video game at the house, but I don't have a system to play it on. You know, so I can't show nobody. I got to get a PlayStation 2 so I can show everybody. But yeah,
I do remember that. I do remember.
Arena football had a nice run. That long run. Then after arena football, you know, some other leagues came calling. I went to some other leagues thinking it was going to be a good payout, and it ended up playing out for me. I got to go to an expansion team in Fairbanks, Alaska, and that was
Was
one.
that cold?
It was right around spring and summer, but it was a great experience, man. That's beautiful city. I played in that for a minute, played around. I ended up spending 13 years indoors. Man. So it was a great thing, man.
Including when you played with Fire Dogs.
Yep, including Fire Dogs down here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast.
Yep.
And that coming up, we really been talking about trying to get the guy named John Forcade, great guy, former Saint quarterback. Yeah, he's been trying to get another team because actually they got the Seawolves supposed to be coming back. So normally if the Seawolves come back, they try to have another team in the building. So hopefully they'll bring a team back.
That'd be real
and
nice.
I'm throwing my hat in the ring. I want to coach.
Yeah.
Get on that level. Your knowledge, man. Yeah, get on that level. But it's a great run.
Man, T, you played a lot of football, man. You got a lot of knowledge. XFL, NFL, AFL. Man, you played indoor for 13 seasons, man. Bro, I just want to let you know, man, I really appreciate you, man, being a friend. And I'm just giving you roses, bro. You did your thing, bro. You held it down, man. You was really one of those people that was really good at the game, man, and then really respect the game for one.
Yeah, I love the game.
Yeah.
It gave me so many opportunities to education, funds to do the things I've done, you know, and I just appreciate you for doing this, man. This is touching to see you from the young cat I knew out there, you know, doing this and what you're doing now, man. Yeah. You came a long way, man. I love it, man.
Man, like one of the things that I used to love about you, you just never sugarcoat anything. When I used to like, man, T, man, I need. One of the biggest things you told me, you know, me and my wife was getting ready to have my daughter. I was still at Tuskegee, and I was just telling you what was going on. Yeah, man, I was just all excited. He said, "You excited now?" When that baby start crying in the middle of the night, your wife call you. It's gonna be, hey, what you doing? You know, and I experienced that, like calling me 2:00 in the morning. I got practice at 4:00. I got to get up and talk to her. You know, make sure she good and make sure the baby good. So, man, stuff like that, little stuff like that with you, bro. Really appreciate you, man. It was just the football was the way we met, but we had a relationship outside of football.
Yeah, man.
I definitely appreciate you for that.
All the football camps I do, I try to tell the guys up front. Recently, I was at one. A young man told me he got 2 kids already and trying to go to school, and I told him it's gonna be tough. Yeah. But you're gonna have to buckle down and get it done if that's what your dream is, to play football. Right. But also know, hey, it's gonna be tough. It's not gonna be what you think it is. That partying when everybody else go after games, you're gonna have to go home, take care of kids. There's some sacrifices. I know in my career I made some with my oldest son who's in the NFL now. I had some sacrifices with that where, you know, we had a rocky relationship for a long time because I was chasing my dream and wasn't being a father. Right. And then it got better. Once he got into the system, you know, he was an All-American receiver at SMU. And, you know, he started seeing the grind of it. Right. And now, you know, we talk all the time about what he got going on now. You know, he was a Pro Bowler a couple years ago, ready to get back with the Denver Broncos, and I can't wait. And I got a little one over here. Come on, Miles.
My boy Miles, man, I remember when he was a baby.
This my young one. He getting ready. He's getting ready. He's getting ready to do his thing, man.
Tell everybody what my boy did in the flag football game, man. Against adults.
Oh, man. You know, I take him to the little flag games we have. He caught him a little corner route and took it to the house against some guys, but you know, we're working on that. He's a work in progress, and he's gonna make things happen.
Man, I showed, man. I remember when Miles used to go everywhere with us to the
Everywhere,
tournaments.
everywhere.
Man,
he was a little cat.
yeah, he was real little, man. He was a baby.
Yeah.
He was a baby, but yeah, man. T, I really appreciate you and Miles, man. Y'all coming by, taking the time out with SMACM World and Street Geeks, man. Anything you want to give them anything you want to tell them for is like
Man,
motivation?
Kids, man, if this is your heart, you want to do this sport, you got to give it what you want. Because whatever you give it, you're going to get back. You give it 50%, it's going to give you 50% back. You got to grind, man. You're going to take the good with the bad with these sports, man. And I just want to tell you, man, thank you. I see what you do all the time with these kids, training these kids, what you do, Shabazz. You need to give yourself a pat on the back, man. We really, I see you, man. The older cats, I see you. Keep on doing what you're doing, man.
Appreciate it, bro, man. But we going to be signing off, man, this SMACM World. I got my boy T and Miles, Coach Boz. I'll see you next time.
Yeah, Chico, talking to the bad guy. Yeah, Chico. Yeah, Chico, you're talking to the bad guy. Toothpicking your eye. I'm that guy. Hey, y'all. Look, something happened to these, something happened to you.